All right. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Herman, that's your first warning and last warning for this morning. I want to make sure the city attorney is aware that Mr. Herman had received a warning.
Good morning, council members. My name is Noah Ornstein, and I'm the Director of Industry Partnerships at California YIMBY, the sponsor of the important pro-housing bills you are endorsing today. The mission of California YIMBY is to make California an affordable place to live, work, and raise a family. And in pursuit of this goal, California YIMBY has been behind most of the important pro-housing legislation that has passed statewide in the last few years. As you know, California YIMBY is a statewide organization with nearly 80,000 members. But I'm not appearing in front of you today as some NorCal carpetbagger. I'm a third-generation Angelino, and in July, we will be welcoming our first child and the fourth generation of my family to this city. Beyond that, as a developer and contractor, I have built housing in nearly every single one of your districts. Every single member up here, I have added almost 50 units of housing in each of your districts, except for you, Councilmember Lee. I haven't had the honor to, but it's just a tight market over there, so don't take it personally. Council members, housing is the foundational issue of our time. It's not just a policy preference or a fun thing to argue about online, but it's the fabric that determines the most important aspects of our lives. I truly believe, and I am not alone, that housing is upstream from every major issue our city faces, from affordability, to climate, to transportation, to education, and even happiness. So how are we doing on the most important issue of our time? I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, those of you that are paying attention, but if we had to grade ourselves holistically on housing, what grade would we give ourselves? An A? A B? Would we give ourselves a C? In the national imagination, I can tell you it is resoundingly an F. Did anybody see the front page of the Wall Street Journal last Wednesday? Now, I know we all have different opinions on the article or the issue that it was addressing, but it is not without basis and merit. But today marks a really significant day and a signal that LA understands the importance of housing and is ready to lead on this issue. And I'm here on behalf of the leadership and members of California YIMBY to celebrate what you're doing today. By endorsing AB 1903, 1406, and 1070, you're demonstrating the exact kind of pragmatic, pro-housing leadership that the city desperately needs. Both of these are lean interventions, but they compound, and that's the point. Housing isn't solved by one bill. It's a million uncoordinated hurdles, and it's death by 1,000 cuts. And without this endorsement, and with this endorsement, the city is loudly saying that it is committed to removing anti-housing friction points that drive up costs and constrain supply. Join us as partners in the work ahead. Los Angeles can lead on housing, but only if this body chooses to do so.
Speaker, your time has expired.
The 14th Amendment prevents states from depriving any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. When officers expel people from the city council without giving them a court hearing, they are illegally depriving them of a basic liberty. Similarly, when officers leave barricades in the public hallway outside the council chamber without getting a court ruling, as they've been doing for the past 10 months, they are illegally depriving everyone of their liberty. There is no special rule giving permission to violate these rights, so stop. Oh yeah, and people are getting killed.
Great. Good morning, council members. My name is Matt Tekle, and I'm with Safe Parking LA. I'm here to urge you today to restore funding for safe parking programs in the FY 26-27 budget. Right now, the proposed FY 27 funding report only includes 3 months of operations funding to demobilize 6 safe parking sites. This comes on the heels of this body protecting 5 additional safe parking sites through general fund allocations. During those deliberations, the council recognized the value of these programs and chose to protect them. I urge you to show that same leadership today for the remainder of the city's safe parking portfolio. The CAO's office has already identified a viable funding path forward, realigning HAP 6 funding to bridge the funding gap identified. This is practical and reasonable adjustment. Safe parking programs are one of the only few proven interventions specifically serving people experiencing vehicular homelessness. I urge you to realign funding today, restore safe parking, and continue investing in these solutions that are proven, humane, and cost-effective. Thank you.
Great. Item 7 is regarding renaming the intersection of Roscoe Boulevard and Langdon Avenue as Bert and Jane Boakman. And it doesn't say Bert and Jane Boakman Square or anything, so I guess we're just naming that intersection after this couple that Bert Boakman ran Galpin Ford for a very long time. It's like one of the country's largest car dealerships. And I think in a time when vehicular injury and death is so high. In fact, just this morning, there was a deadly car crash on Woodman and Ventura Boulevard. It's a little tone deaf to me to be naming an intersection after folks who made their name by selling cars. And I know that that intersection in particular is really dangerous because when I was a crossing guard, that was one of the intersections I would often be deployed to. And because the city has a limited number of crossing guards, they only deploy to the most deadly ones that are in most need of patrols. And so I just think that's a little tone deaf that we're honoring folks known for selling cars when cars are killing and injuring so many people, particularly children. Regarding Assembly Bill 1903, this is to let developers and people constructing housing avoid litigation for construction defects. I don't know what the implications are necessarily for this. It seems like a way for developers to skirt around lawsuits by giving them time and opportunity to have private inspectors rather than city inspectors catch defects and flaws. I can sort of see how this might be beneficial, but I know with new construction, there are a lot of defects, and I hope that there's language in this bill to protect buyers and residents as well, not just a giveaway for developers like a lot of things are. We have special funding for fences. I think we need fewer fences and more safe places to park and enjoy our city. That's neither here nor there. Rescinding funds for brush and debris removal. I guess it's good we're putting money back where it should be. USC is gonna have to pay us for city services. That's a good thing. We have a reward for snitches. It's too bad the LAPD can't solve these crimes on their own. They need to solicit help from the public, but at least the public is going to get paid. There's a motion in here for a jazz festival. I think that's great. Everyone should listen to more jazz. Jazz is awesome, and so is Lamer Park. I guess I'll move on to general. 1 week before Election Day, and Nithia's busy paying influencers, some of whom don't even live in LA. Isn't it messed up? Most of them aren't disclosing. Like traveling nurse Lex, who tried to shake down Ray's campaign. Drop the ball, pass the blame, while you sit on a council with significant authority. You could be doing things that are in your campaign from the chair you're already sitting. This is a power grab for your grifting. A gift for developers if you end up winning. People should vote Ray for a better LA, not status quo corrupt politicians. Bass and ramen aren't very different, and nothing will change if one of them wins it. Did the council member leave the room for my song? That one was just for her. Too bad. Vote Ray for LA and shout out Smoke and Scan.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Perfect. Good morning, Council. My name is Jordan Panana Carvajal, Government Affairs Manager for California YIMBY. YIMBY stands for Yes in My Backyard. I first want to thank the Council for considering items 10, 11, and 12, specifically on 11 and 12, specifically on condominiums, condos. We are not building enough condos in Los Angeles or in California statewide, and these two resolutions will unlock the support to building more condos, which is one of the most affordable ways for families and first-time homeowners to buy a home in California. One of the two reasons why we're not building. On 1406, the down payment to assisting more projects is not physically possible in California. And when we increase the deposit for these condominiums, we can find the financing for developers and small developers to build more condos. And what I love about this is that when you put more financing, you get more rewards. And so we're not building enough for the supply and for the demand we need in Los Angeles and California. And for 1903, for the construction defect, the right to repair should be a right for many folks. And those two items of 11 and 12, with no right to repair and more financing, we are able to build more condominiums and condos in Los Angeles. So with that, council members, I first want to thank the authors of items 10, 11, and 12 for considering it and putting it up for motion, and respectfully request your support for those items. Thank you so much.
Hold on. You have all items in general public comment. You have 3 minutes for the items, 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Gracias, cabrones. Yo quiero hablar 1, 2, 3 y non agenda publicúmico. Pendejo.
Thank you, suckers. I want to talk about number 1, 2, and 3 in general public comment.
So item 2 and 3 are not open for public comment.
No estás escuchando bien este panzón. Yo quiero hablar por 3 minutos y tener mi tiempo de otro 1 minuto de 4 pinche minutos, pelón panzón.
No, fat guy, I want to have my 3 minutes, and I also want to have my 4th minute. Sucker.
Entonces, voy a empezar con el número Por ejemplo, las dos señoras, una pendeja que se llama Lee y la otra Padilla.
Hold on just a second. We're having difficulties with our clock. So you were at 2:45. I am keeping track here. So do please.
¿Puede
and
empezar
go.
la tiempo otra vez, cabrón?
Go ahead.
Ya ves, siempre, Smoking Scan, yo hablo en mi interesado de palabras en español y este pinche abogado no me deja a contestar de las dos pinche piojas. ¿Dónde está mi lengua?
I want to speak in my words in Spanish, and this damn lawyer doesn't let me speak in my words.
Okay, so Mr. Herman, this is your only warning during public comment. You need to speak to the items during your first 3 minutes. If you do not do so, I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Resolution by Bitch and Dick relative to the Assembly Bill 1924, Quirk, Silva, and Gabriel, in which it would require the fucking state, the fucking Department of Housing, and the fucking Community of fucking Development, HCD for the record, not like my name BTS, however, to develop and publicly issue a statewide David O'Carler, fight these bitches on the homelessness prevention strategy, and that is sue the city of Los Angeles for homelessness. Thank you. That was one of the items. And then, because there's only 30 fucking problems here, and I'm limited to time, let's talk about this one here on the record. Two putos, Oscar and Nazarian, on Jamal Corbin, consul action Smoking Scan, on October 9th of 2020, in which the unsolved murder of Akeem, A-K-E-E-M, motherfucking reward. Now, why are we giving people rewards or awards for being a snitch? The history of Los Angeles is snitches get stitches. Now, I didn't make that phrase up. It actually happens in Los Angeles because we got a corruption, criminal, asshole attorney that doesn't follow through to post whether or not we paid out the $50,000 rewards, right? Big hit. And then we got another one, Jazz. You know why I like jazz? Because that's fucking music for the festivals. Matter of fact, I was in a jazz concert in Long Beach the other day, which I paid $23 fucking to sit down and enjoy Long Beach music in a festival. So to the rest of you stupid fucks who like jazz, like rock and roll, and don't like Bob Blumenfield, go to these concerts. You'll learn something, right, Bob? Not into my general public comment, dickhead. So, dickhead, on Friday, 1 fucking minute, and you allow those fucking racist, discriminatory people to attack and make noises, right? But not one time did you warn them. Let's go back to that issue. Why is it that you single me out, right, Smoke and Scan? Why does he target me, right, Smoke and Scan? And why do you fucking make allegations that are not true, big head? Is it because you got that big old pimple on your face and it distracts you from thinking? Or is it because you got that fucking stupid haircut that day and you look so handsome, fathead? That's probably it,
So
meatball.
while you are allowed to insult me, you have to connect it to
I'm not
something within the
insulting.
city's subject
I'm
matter jurisdiction.
criticizing the
If you do not do
goddamn
so,
service of
then
the
you will
city
forfeit
and
your
the
speaking
budget.
time.
So 42 USC 1983, right, Smoke and Scan? And you got it there. Show everybody, everyone. Hey, Mr. Attorney, look at my finger. Fuck you.
All right, your time has expired. You have already been warned once, so if you disrupt this meeting from here on out, you will be subject to removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. As far as Friday goes, just to clarify for the record, I was not here on Friday, so I have no idea what you're speaking to.
Thank you. Good morning, council members and council president. My name is Scott Epstein. I'm the director of policy and research with Abundant Housing LA, here in strong support of the state support resolutions under items 10, 11, and 12. These are AB 1903, AB 1406, and AB 1070, all sponsored by our friends at California YIMBY and high priorities for Abundant Housing LA. AB 1903 and AB 1406 solve key problems that have prevented us from building condominiums in this state. Condominiums have ground to a halt in the last 20 years, and AB 1070 would study building code reforms to allow us to build the missing middle typologies beloved in Los Angeles. Think bungalow courts, courtyard apartment buildings, fourplexes, and more. So I strongly urge your support for these key bills. I want to thank the council members who authored these support resolutions. And I think what is really exciting, in addition to building more housing supply in our city, these bills will help us build more types of housing that work for families. Many families are priced out of home ownership in Los Angeles currently. They are priced out of living in neighborhoods with calm streets. And these are bills that will really help us bring back those sorts of typologies that work for families of 3, 4, and more. The last thing that I will note is that Los Angeles City Hall and Sacramento have not always gotten along when it comes to housing policy. And this is really refreshing to see this council play a positive, constructive role when it comes to key housing reforms. So I look forward to seeing more of that. Thank you so much.
My name is Matt Wersinger, and as the current board chair of Safe Parking LA, I urge you to fully restore funding for safe parking programs in the fiscal year 26-27 budget. I'm also a former neighborhood council president, and I've walked our streets, including with some of you, and I've seen that we need more programs that actually work to get people off of our streets. Safe Parking provides a safe, stable, sanitized program with case management, pathways to housing, and all at a fraction of a cost of some of our other homeless solves. We get people off the streets. While some funding has already been restored, there are 6 additional sites that require funding to continue operating. The CAO's office has identified a viable path towards restoring all of Safe Parking funding by realigning HAP 6. This is a practical and reasonable adjustment. I urge you to realign the funding, restore Safe Parking, and continue investing in solutions that are proven, humane, and cost-effective.
voy a leer página 89 de Senator Ron Johnson. Él es más derechista que nuestro presidente.
I'm going to read page 89 of Senator Van Johnson, who's more on the right side as our president.
Gracias. La más armas que ingresan, la más las víctimas se confunden.
The more weapons come in, more victims get confused.
Se agobian del estrés y luego se equivocan cuando tratan de pensar.
They get overwhelmed with stress and then they make mistakes when they try to think.
This is a man on the right who's talking about us, targets. Estos errores aumentan hasta cierto punto peligroso.
These mistakes happen more often and they get to a dangerous point.
Y tal vez los blancos pierden la vida.
And maybe white people lose their lives.
Targets will lose their life. Good, excellent though. Todo lo que está relacionado a blanco target se hace automáticamente.
Anything that is related to white targets, it's done automatically.
Como la cobertura de teléfono dentro de un torre hasta el otro.
Like the coverage from a phone tower to another one.
Siguen su rastro desde torre hasta la próxima.
They follow that trace from one tower to the next one.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Morales, the Director of Programs for Safe Parking LA. Today, I urge you to restore the funding for safe parking programs in the FY 26-27 budget. Right now, the proposed fiscal year 27 funding report includes only 3 months of operating funding to demobilize 6 safe parking sites. This comes on the heels of this body protecting 5 other safe parking sites through general fund allocations. During those deliberations, the council recognized the value of these programs and chose to protect them. I urge you to show that same leadership today for the remainder of the city's safe parking portfolio. The CAU's office has already identified a viable path, realigning HAP 6 funding by reducing the proposed allocation to the Alliance TLS program, with which is expected to receive additional funding opportunities in the future. I urge you to realign the funding, restore safe parking, and continue investing in solutions that are proven, humane, and cost-effective. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Council. My name is Daniel Sosa. I operate 4 licensed cannabis dispensaries in the city of LA. I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts about the upcoming tax amnesty program and why tax reduction is a necessary component of the program. The city of LA has created impossible conditions for retail cannabis business to operate in the city of Los Angeles. Cannabis businesses are taxed at 100 times the rate as other businesses in the city. Furthermore, the illicit market thrives, accounting for 60% of the market in the state by the state's own study. And to make matters even worse, DCR has been renewing license of delinquent taxpayers, 48 of which, as of early 2026, are collectively responsible for over $124 million in unpaid taxes to the city. Make that make sense. So good faith consumers get stuck paying inflated prices, and good faith operators like me get stuck with enormous tax bills that are practically impossible to pay. So now to fix it all, the city will be moving forward with a cannabis tax amnesty program. But first of all, this won't fix it all unless it comes in conjunction with tax reduction. We need cannabis taxes lowered to 0.1%, just like everyone else, at least for the duration of the cannabis tax amnesty program. After the program's completion in 3 to 5 years, City Council can reevaluate whether an increase would be appropriate. Cannabis tax reduction in conjunction with the tax amnesty program is imperative because it is only fair to even the playing field for the industry. It will give the city an opportunity to collect a significant amount of money it is owed. It will give tax-compliant operators a chance to get on their feet. It will bring consumers back to the legal market. It will give the city one last chance to support the cannabis industry and the social equity program. Overtaxation is what got us here in the first place, so we can't do more of the same.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Thank you. Thank you.
About the Equal Rights Amendment, this is all empirical evidence. The form is what the evidence is. Paragraph 1 is where it says 7-year time limit. That is in the constitutional resolution. The second paragraph is where the article is. There are 4 articles in the Constitution, in the amendments, 18, 20, 21, and 22, where it is specifically in a section where it says the time limit is valid and operable. It is nowhere in the article for the proposed Equal Rights Amendment. The stonewalling by the executive branch is saying that it is a time limit. There has never been a time limit. There's not one today, and there is not one tomorrow, because just like my father said, and the Honorable Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, I can point at it.
So
So
Speaker,
there
your
you go.
time has expired.
Council President, council
Good
members,
morning.
my name is Mel Tilakaratna. I am the Executive Director of the Shore of Hope. I'm here to speak on item 27.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Right now, more than us, all of you guys know how desperate the people of LA are. Everybody's trying to hang in, trying to pay the rent. So I'm here to ask all of you to make sure that the complete allocation for all safe parking programs are included in the HHAP allocation. And also to council members Hernandez and Jurado, the mobile showers in both your districts are hanging on this HHAP allocation. So please make sure that's included as well. Thank you.
My name is Edna Moreno, and I urge you today to restore funding for safe parking programs in the fiscal year of 2026 through 2027 budget. Right now, the proposed fiscal year 2027 funding report include only 3 months of operation funding to demobilize 6 safe parking sites. This comes on the heels of this body protecting 5 other safe parking sites through general fund allocations. During these demobilizations, the council recognized the value of these programs and chose to protect them. I urge you to show the same leadership today for the remainder of the city's safe parking portfolio. The CAO's office has already identified a viable path forward realign HAB 6 funding by reducing the proposed allocation by the Alliance TLS program, which is expected to receive additional funding opportunities in future reports. This is practical and reasonable adjustment. Safe parking programs are one of the few proven interventions specifically serving people experiencing vehicular homelessness.
General? You still have, okay, you have your general public comment if you'd like. Just
I heard the thing and it made me nervous. Sorry. Safe parking programs are one of the few proven interventions specifically serving people experiencing vehicular homelessness. They provide safety, stability, sanitation, case management, and pathways to housing at a fraction of the cost of allowing people to fall further into crisis. I urge you to realign the funding, restore safe parking, and continue investing in solutions that are proven humane and cost-effective.
Hi, good morning. My name is DeAndre Davis, and I urge you today to restore the funding for safe parking programs for fiscal year 26-27. Right now, the proposed fiscal year 27 funding reports includes only 3 months of operations funding to demobilize 6 safe parking sites. This comes on the heels of this body protecting 5 other safe parking sites through general fund allocations. During those deliberations, the council recognized the values of these programs and chose to protect them. And I urge you to show the same leadership today. The CAO's office has already identified a viable path forward, realigning HAPSIS funding by reducing the proposed allocations to Alliance TLS programs, which is expected to receive additional funding for opportunities for the future reports. This is a practical and reasonable adjustment. Safe parking programs are one of the few proven interventions specifically serving people experiencing vehicular homelessness. They provide safety, stability,
General?
safety, stability, sanitation, case management, and pathways to housing, and a fraction of the cost to allowing people to fall further into the homelessness crisis. I urge you to realign the funding, restore safe parking, and continue investing in solutions that are proven, humane, and they're very, very, very safe parking is cost effective. Thank you. Good morning, Council President Harris Dawson, members of the Los Angeles City Council, and any other dignitaries present today. I want everyone to look at this picture. This is Akeem Jamal Coburn. And my name is Brandy Harris, an almost 15-year employee of the City of Los Angeles and the surviving fiance of Akeem, known to many as AJ, whose life was tragically taken by gun violence nearly 6 years ago on July 29, 2020. AJ was a gentle giant who accomplished everything he set his mind to. He was a loving father and partner, a devoted son, a loyal friend, and someone who genuinely cared for those around him. In the middle of a global pandemic, AJ was living the life he worked so hard for, working his dream job at LADWP, being an incredible girl dad to our daughters, and planning our wedding before he was suddenly taken from us. For nearly 6 years, myself, his daughters, our family, and everyone who loved him have lived without answers while the person responsible remains free. The pain of that reality is something we carry every single day. So today I stand before you, humbly asking for your continued support in reinstating the reward in AJ's case for the 6th year in a row. This reward represents more than money. It represents hope, accountability, and the message that AJ's life still matters and always will. Justice for AJ and closure for our family is long overdue, so I ask that you continue to help bring awareness through media, social media, and billboards so that someone finally speaks up. Thank you for your time, your compassion, and your continued support.
All right, Madam Clerk, what items are Councilmember Price?
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 27 today because my wife's employer has worked with an organization on those items in the past.
27, all right?
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, what's before us in 27?
Councilmember Rahman had comments. Councilmember Rodriguez called special for a separate vote. Councilmember Rahman no longer has comments.
Yeah, my only clarification was just to provide context for why this had appeared in full council without being vetted in the committee process and to provide context for the number of amendments being offered in full council. So thank you.
Okay. And for the record, Mr. Price is recused on this item.
Thank you, yes.
All right, so Madam Clerk, can we open the roll on the item as amended?
Thank you. 27 as amended by 27B and 27A.
All right. We don't have C. Members are reporting that they don't have 27C as in cat. Yeah, Council, we'll go into a recess for 5 minutes because I'm now signing 27D. All right, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, one no.